Alright, boys and girls, I know I've been gone for quite some time, but I am back. I have a lot of videos planned. And today I want to talk about Vengeance, because Vengeance isn't a test anymore. It's here to stay. So let's talk about that and what is happening in the upcoming tests, and my thoughts on PvP and ESO as a whole at the moment. So let's get into it. All right, let's quickly go over what they're adding. So they've got a perks and loadout system. First off, the perk system is just a very toned down basic version of the passive system in the game. It gives you 3 different passives, and you can have 1 in each slot. These are colored blue, yellow, and red. Went blank there. GG. And then the loadout system is just a preset of skills and passives. So, say a new player or a PvEer that doesn't want to put any thought into it can just have something that should work as soon as they load in. They're adding back scattershot or catapults, recall, keep recall stones. There's quite a few. I'll have the full list up on screen. So yeah, they're adding a lot of stuff back in. Something else that I have been saying for quite some time now, they need to launch Vengeance with Greyhost and just gauge the interest that way, because it's very easy to say Vengeance is doing really well and everyone's happy with it, and the numbers are good when everyone's forced to play it. So will those numbers look the same when there is a Greyhost option? I feel like Zos should have done this in the last test before they went and made a whole new system. But they're doing it later this year. The first half of the test will be just Vengeance. The second half will be Vengeance and Greyhost. So we'll be able to finally see, is this interest genuine? Or is it just people are forced to play it and it is something different and new? So that's why the feedback is there. Only time will tell. We'll see later in the year. So something else that happened this week was Skinny Cheeks posted a video about Zos's Q&A they did on Reddit. And let's just say some of the responses were detached from reality, insane, crazy. I don't know. I can't understand how someone gets asked a simple question like, when are you going to finish hybridization? When are you going to hybridize potions? And then he turns around. This is his response. This is his response to that question.
With consumables, hybridization would just mean combining these buffs so that they're properly hybridized. While I wouldn't mind a consumable rework so that the system is more interesting, I think there is a lot of room for improvement there. I don't at all understand what any of that has to do with needing to nerf consumables. He said many of the consumables would have needed to be nerfed, in some cases extremely so. But why? You don't have to do any of that.
So yes, I agree, Skinny Cheeks, 100%. Yeah, Zos doesn't need to do all of that. They don't need to rework a whole system just to add in crit pots that give you both crit bonuses. Same with weapon damage. Like, what? Why do you need to rework the whole system, Wheeler? Like, do you not understand what's going on here? Like, do you think in your head at that time, did he go, oh, if we give them 2 crit buffs, that means they'll be like twice as strong? And that's why they need to nerf them? Is that his thought process? Because if it is, once again, that just shows he doesn't understand the game. There was a lot of other odd responses. That wasn't the only one. I highly recommend going and watching Skinny Cheeks' video. I'll have it linked in the description. But I think this is an overarching theme that we're seeing with the higher-ups at Zos and the decision-making that they are making. And let's talk about that and the future of ESO. ESO Dying gets thrown around a lot. Oh, ESO's dying. It's a meme. It's been a meme for freaking years. But I feel like we're living in the time where it could actually be true. Twitch numbers are down. YouTube numbers are down. Steam player numbers are down. Watch time is down. ZOS has to do something. And I think their mindset to cater to the new player and also the casual player is going to be the downfall of this game. Not caring about the endgame community. Yeah, to ZOS, they may see them as a very small niche that's not overly important, but that niche is also generally the niche that teaches people how to do this stuff. And this is how people learn to do mechanics of hard trials and hard dungeons. So you start losing the endgame players, and this is happening. To what degree, I'm not sure, but endgame players have been leaving in herds for years and years. Nothing has necessarily changed recently to make this worse, but it has been progressively just getting worse and worse for endgame players. So I really do have a fear in 3-4 years' time, the endgame community might be dead. And what's that mean for ESO as a whole? I don't have that answer. I really don't. Personally, I don't think it's good for the game. But it's been clear to myself that we are not the target audience for ZOS. The casual player, someone that, does housing and buys crown crates, and that's their target audience. The casual player that doesn't care about performance issues, doesn't care about balance. Basically, if they can get rid of us endgame players, then they can do whatever they want, and most people won't complain, or barely anyone will complain. I don't know. It's a very uncertain time right now for ESO, and I think they need to be very, very careful over the next year or two. And I really, really hope that things can change with leadership changes and stuff like that. But while we still have the same people in charge, like Wheeler is, I'm pretty sure, just got a promotion. So now he is like combat lead for the whole game or something, I think. Don't quote me on that. They change fucking roles so often over there. Gene has had 4 role changes in many 2 or 3 years or something. Anyway, point is, while the people that are there with the mindsets that they have, and Wheeler's mindset has become very clear with the BG Battlegrounds live stream and everything that happened around that, with the Q&A choices that they've just made in the game over the last 2 or 3 years. Everything is very clear to me that I am far, far from their target audience. Now, I have been playing a lot more, and that's because I pretty much quit PvP. PvE is fun. There's a lot more content there. There's a lot more to do. I feel a lot more valued as a customer when I PvE. But there are still a lot of the same problems in PvE that PvP has had for years and years. And this has just shown me that the endgame problem that we think we have in PvP isn't isolated to that. It's a game-wide thing. Look at how they treated Nephis. Look how they treated Skinny Cheeks. I'm going to say it. I feel like they despise us. I honestly do. I feel like they think we just cause them trouble, and there is no good thing to be had from endgame players. Because let's be real, guys. All we do is bitch. That's all we do. We don't give constructive feedback at all. No, nah. I don't know. I'm very concerned for the ESO's future. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I know this video got a little bit all over the place, but hey, welcome to my brain. And as always, guys, I do love you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.